It's the Lunch Show with Chad Summers. Fasten your seatbelts for the greatest radio show in the world, ever. And now, the host of the Lunch Show, Chad Summers.
All right. Welcome to the Lunch Show, everybody. My name's Chad. I'm your host. Today's May 30th, 2025. Hope you all had a good holiday, Memorial Day. Let's jump into the birthdays. Birthday this time. CeeLo Green, 50 years old. Happy birthday to that gentleman. Also on this day in history, 1431, Joan of Arc burned at the stake. Ouch. 1911, the first Indy 500 was run in, Indianapolis, Indiana. The race was won by Ray Harron in 6 hours, 42 minutes. I'm curious how long it takes to run that in modern times. And in 1806, Andrew Jackson shot and killed Charles Dickinson. Some accounts estimate that he was in as many as 100 duels throughout his life, and most of them were in defense of his wife, Rachel. So she seemed like a real sweetheart, I guess. I don't know, but pretty interesting there. All right, let's get into the news, shall we? This one from CNN. Suge Knight urges longtime rival John Diddy Combs to take the stand to humanize himself. All right, this comes from a guy who fatally ran someone over and is in jail for 28 years because of it. He'll probably spend the rest of his life in there. But yeah, see, the thing is, going up on the stand is something you do when you're innocent, because you want to plead your case. Diddy, how is he going to explain, what is it, hundreds of bottles of lotion? How do you explain that? He doesn't want to have to answer that question. They've got so much on him, I think, that there's no way in hell he'll go up there. TMZ, Mike, quote, the situation. Sorrentino cheers Chrisley's pardons. No situation here. So the Chrisleys are a couple that were on the reality show Chrisley's Know Best, and they were both sentenced and did time. He was sentenced 12 years, and she was sentenced for 7 years, I believe, for tax evasion. And recently, Donald Trump pardoned them. They had served 2 years of those sentences. So yeah, they are some pretty happy people right now. I don't know. I didn't see why Trump pardoned him. What his explanation, but yeah, good for them, I guess. TMZ, Russel Brand says, "I'm innocent." Pleads not guilty to rapé and assault charges. Yeah. So this is real. The crazy thing is, the first paragraph reads, he is expected to attend a pre-trial review on May 20th. So you're probably thinking, oh, this is old news. No. May 20th, 2026. And his trial is scheduled to kick off in June. He will continue his conditioned bail, a judge confirmed. So yeah, that to me that seems like a long time, really. Let's get this thing over with, and maybe he's happy about that, because that's less time that he knows he's gonna, he knows he's gonna end up in jail maybe, and wants to get it one more year of freedom. I don't know, but see, here in the US, we've got the right to a speedy trial. That's in England, so I don't know what what their rights are. But yeah, that sure as hell doesn't sound speedy. All right, this one from Fox. Karen Reed looks to crash prosecution's crash theory. Defense opens case. Excuse me. So I kind of been following this. I don't know. I can't wait to hear this defense because I don't know if they're saying that she never even made contact with him, or if they're claiming that it was an accident, but I don't know. I personally think she's probably guilty. If they can prove that she in fact did hit him with the SUV, if that's a fact, how do you do that on accident? I mean, she was just dropping him off at his friend's house, and then hits him, and they said his body was all beat to you know what. I don't know. What do you think? Is she guilty or not? Leave it in the comments. Email me at chad@thelunchshow.com. All right, we've got a new segment here. It's called In Memoriam. That's an original one. Phil Robertson of Duck Dynasty has passed away. He was 79. And Bernie Carrick, former NYPD commissioner, passes away at 69. He was the commissioner during 9/11, and apparently he did an amazing job supporting that city during that crisis. So, yeah, hats off to that guy and what he achieved. And condolences to his family, of course. All right, that leaves us with one story left. But before I get to that, I just want to say subscribe to the show, or the channel, I guess is what it's called. Send me an email, leave comments, click on all the things that support the show. You know what they are. All right, let's get into the good news. This one's from Newsmax. Kremlin says Russia and Ukraine to discuss ceasefire conditions in Istanbul. All right, I'm going to just read the first paragraph of this. The Kremlin expects Russia and Ukraine to discuss the list of conditions for a ceasefire in the war in Ukraine next week in Istanbul, its spokesperson said on Friday, praising the U.S. role in mediating the talks. I really feel that both of these wars are going to be wrapping up soon. And I think this is just evidence of it. I think our new president has something to do with that for sure. I think he'd be crazy to suggest otherwise, but that's good news. I'm tired of these wars. It's really disturbing to think about it. Just all the families for each one of these guys that die in one of these wars. There's a family that's devastated. So the damage is just so widespread. It's really sad. But that is good news, like I said, and we will leave it there. Hopefully they can figure it out and stop the carnage. So I hope y'all have a good weekend. Be safe out there on the mean streets of America. And until the next episode, keep pressing on in your life. Peace out.
All right, folks, that's it for the lunch show today. Don't forget to come back every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. And don't forget to like, share, tweet, subscribe, friend, listen, email, and tell your friends and family about us. We need every single one of y'all. Thank you in advance for your support, and I hope you all have an awesome day.
You just listened to The Lunch Show.